These are pockets of protests across Nigeria against high cost of living and food scarcity. As if the federal government had seen this festering, there had been efforts to ameliorate the lingering food inflation and scarcity in Nigeria. One of such was the announcement by the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari at the maiden edition of the press briefing by the Presidential Committee on Food Security to give out 42,000 metric tons of grains to Nigerians.
Currently, we have 53,000 metric tons of grain reserve in our reserves, in our silos across the country. We have requested to release 42,000 metric tons, and for a very good reason. We need the 11,000 metric tons for any eventuality. In fact, it is there that we have to have a buffer in case of any disaster, in case of any unforeseen. We're not praying for it, God forbid, but in case there's anything that requires for us to act immediately, we should have some kind of reserve. So the 42,000 is in the process of release, and we're waiting for indexes. We are assiduously working with NEMA to see how we can get those to where it is needed the most.
The question is, what is the state of the 33 silos of about 1.3 million metric tons? The silos were constructed in Ekiti, Kebbi, Zamfara, Borno, Imo states and the FCT with 100,000 metric tons capacity. As of January 2023, the federal government said she had 17 silos with 6,000 metric tons storage capacity with the private sector to enable farmers have access to storage facilities. The major problem being faced by farmers in the country is post-harvest losses as a result of transportation, lack of equipment that can add value to what is produced, and lack of storage facilities. That was expected to attract over 18 billion naira to the economy. Meanwhile, the federal government laments that over 30% of food produced in Nigeria every year is challenged by post-harvest losses due to inadequate storage facilities, transportation, and lack of equipment. Nigeria also needs to better position herself to handle the systemic shock caused by both COVID-19 and the Russia war in Ukraine on global food supply. Just a year ago, all 33 silos meant for storing grains against periods of poor harvest were empty.
Food security was challenged because of the harvest that we saw in 2023 wet season was just a marginal increase of that of 2022. And we all knew what happened from COVID time, where agriculture was impacted all over the world, including Nigeria, and also the 2021-2022 rainy season where we had massive flooding around the country. And in fact, even the 2022 harvest of October, November, when the Naira redesign policy was issued, farmers were impacted on that, and subsequently when they were just about to plan for cultivation for 2023 wet season, availability of cash was not there.
Nigeria needs over 30 billion naira to buy up grains and store at least 25,000 to 30,000 tons in the country's silos. Farmers say the 33 silos across the country are largely empty, and the country does not currently have a bulwark against famine. They say the silos were not put to maximum use because of the high cost of running them. It costs billions of naira to maintain a silo. The government is currently managing only 4 of our silos, with 26 for concession for proper participation of farmers, and 3 are still under construction. Other silos had a storage capacity of 25,000 metric tons. These included Yobe, Bauchi, Osun, Nasarawa, Taraba, Ogun, Anambra, Kogi, Sokoto, Akwa Ibom, Adamawa, Kano, Ebonyi, Gombe, Edo, Oyo, Benue, Niger, Cross River, Katsina states, amongst others. The silos were meant to store rice, beans, maize, soya beans, millet, wheat, and other food items. Silos in Borno, Yobe, and Bayelsa are still under construction due to insecurity and natural disasters. Many of the silos are not even properly located, owing to political and other primordial considerations. Nigeria's major grains are rice, wheat, maize, and sorghum, with a production of 15.56 million metric tons and demand of 25.5 million metric tons per annum, according to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. This shows a demand-supply gap of 9.9 million metric tons per annum. Grains exports also need to be checked to avoid plunging Nigeria further into food scarcity and famine. More needs to be done to beef up security in Nigeria. And the government must now, more than ever, admit that food insecurity is a threat to Nigeria's security. As such, we must ensure that no Nigerian goes to bed hungry. Tolu Ojewumi, Arise News.